On July 8th, 2022, millions of Canadians were left without both cell phone and internet service. Sounds like a simple issue, maybe. I mean, we can handle one day without scrolling on our phones aimlessly. Maybe we could all use a break from looking at semi-entertaining content and without texting our peers. But that wasn't exactly the end of it. The Canada Border Services Agency said that the Arrive Can app, needed by Canadians to cross the border into Canada, was disabled from the outage. This meant anyone arriving into Canada couldn't access essential information they have in their app. And this includes their COVID-19 vaccination status. So unless you had a printed version of your vaccination status, you weren't getting across the border anytime soon. Among the most serious impacts of the outage were warnings from police all over the country who reported connection problems when Canadians would call 911. Most calls couldn't go through, and even emergency alerts between essential services were disrupted. No one could get emergency help if they needed it. CBC News published a story saying a family from Hamilton, Ontario experienced trauma from this outage. Siblings Greg and Linda Ebby were on a walk that day, and when Linda suddenly wasn't feeling well, Greg started to panic. Greg was scrambling to find help, someone to call 911 for him, but no one around him had cell service. Then luckily, a nearby security guard near him was able to find a way to call for help, and emergency services finally made it to them. Although the first ambulance failed to have a defibrillator, the following fire truck did. They were able to revive Linda before taking her to a nearby hospital. Apparently, she suffered from an aneurysm. Unfortunately, once there, it was quickly realized it was too late, and Greg was stuck with the decision to take Linda off life support. The outage didn't cause my aunt to die, but every minute counts when something like that happens, and when it's not available, it seems to be something that could be worked on, said Shane Ebby, son of Greg Ebby. Everywhere else, debit cards, credit cards, and various forms of payments simply did not work. Businesses across the country could not process transactions and were without the ability to make a buck for up to 19 hours. Nearly every aspect of life was disrupted. Chaos and stress swept across Canada. Almost everyone was affected to some degree. But the reason for this service outage? Many assumed it was some form of cyber attack, someone trying to get Canada while its citizens were vulnerable. But the real reason? The president and chief executive officer of Rogers said the outage was caused by a network system failure following a maintenance update. Many say that's not a good enough answer. But maybe this brings up another issue. Why does one company having a system maintenance update turn an entire country into chaos, possibly causing problems to businesses everywhere, a disconnect nationally, and potentially causing death? Maybe it's time to not have the majority of a country's communications dependent on one company. Maybe it's time for a change. Have something to contribute? Let us know in the comments down below. I'm Melissa for Breaking News Broken Down.